Hey everybody, this is Time Dropping NFL, and today we're going to be talking about Ben Askren versus Jake Paul, a very highly anticipated fight. Well, a lot love Jake Paul. He's making a lot of people hate Ben Askren, the guy who got knocked out in about 5 seconds and can last in it with his wife for about 5 seconds. So, I mean, I could see why. Jake Paul is basically putting his 9-year-old army at Ben Askren, but Ben Askren's a real fighter, and people over the age of 10 are really rooting for him. I'm personally rooting for Jake Paul, so I just basically insulted myself. I am not under 10, but you gotta root for the underdog, who is obviously Jake Paul in this situation. This is the real first fighter he's really fought. Ben Askren's been in the UFC, and he's fought NBA players and people on YouTube. So we'll see what happens. He's undefeated so far, but let's get into the analysis of what's going to really happen. Jake Paul, a highly known YouTuber, probably the most hated YouTuber, the only person you can really argue is his own brother. He is a alright fighter. He's pretty good. He's obviously above average because Nate Robinson is an average fighter, and he absolutely demolished him. He's going against Ben Askren, a real fighter. I think Jake Paul saw this one clip I'm about to show and just ran with it.
Fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
So my boy Jake, after calling out LeBron James and Conor McGregor, goes with a much softer opponent in Ben Askren, who got absolutely demolished by Jorge Masvidal, a very great fighter, one of the best in the UFC currently, can take on basically almost anybody in the UFC, fighting Usman for the second time coming up. And yeah, he's just really good, but he thinks that he's as good as Masvidal if he thinks he could take on Ben Askren. Like I said before, I'm rooting for him, but I don't think he did much research on Ben Askren, who he's fought, who he's beaten, and I'm about to bring that up right now. Now, Ben Askren, he's got knocked out once, of course, was the clip I showed before. He's got submitted once, but other than that, this guy is 19-2. My boy Funky is no joke. It's not like he hasn't fought any real fighters like I just brought up. He fought Masvidal, he's fought Lawler, he's fought really great fighters that are just absolute beast. It's not like he's been fighting absolute bums. He's been in the MMA, Bellator, he's been in the UFC. He's just been all around, and he wins fights. The only fights he's lost were to real UFC fighters. It's not like he fought Mick Kringleberry and got knocked out. He's 19-2 in the MMA, and he's fought way better fighters than Jake Paul, which means you already know who I'm going to go with this fight. You got to go Ben Askren. Ben Askren's going to be your champion. He is just a real fighter. That's all I can say. You can't really go with a YouTuber over a real fighter unless they kind of rigged this thing to go with the most hated man on earth, you know? So, yeah. The odds are pretty close. Jake Paul's minus 110, as Askren is minus 125, but you got to take Askren. Put your mortgage on Askren for this fight. I don't see him losing to Jake Paul with his blonde hair and brown eyebrows. I don't know why I said that. That's just kind of what came out of my mouth. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We cover all this stuff. We cover UFC, we cover basketball, we cover football especially, but we're pretty good in all of them. In our UFC fights, we've got most of them right. I think I've gotten 3 or 4 wrong in total. We've done a ton of videos on them. Boxing, we covered Mike Tyson. We knew Mike Tyson was going to win, even though it was a draw. Mike Tyson did beat that guy up pretty bad, Roy Jones. But you got to go with Askren on this one. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe if you would like to see more videos. Hit the post notification so you know right when they come out. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment if you disagree and think Jake Paul will beat his head, and honestly, I'd love to see it. I like Jake Paul. Not really previously. I never watched any of his stuff on YouTube, but from what I've seen in his boxing career, he's definitely exciting to watch, and I like watching him fight. So if he loses this one, he'll lose his chance to ever make it into the UFC, which would be pretty unfortunate. But we'll see what happens. I hope Jake Paul wins, but I think Askren will, logically. So I'll talk to you guys later, and as always, keep on keeping on.